Welcome back. Congress expanding its investigation into ActBlue, the shady fundraising platform of the left. Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson, along with House Administration Committee Chairman Congressman Brian Stile, demanding the Biden administration provide access to bank documents over reports of potential donations from foreign adversaries to Democrats in this country, because the Democrats are doing a great job tearing the country up. Why wouldn't foreign adversaries want them in power? Writing in a letter to Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, they've been investigating claims that foreign actors, primarily Iran, Russia, Venezuela, and China, may be using ActBlue to launder illicit money into U.S. political campaigns. Our investigation has indicated that these actors may be exploiting existing U.S. donors by making straw donations without their knowledge. ActBlue is accused of something called smurfing, where people who have knowingly donated to Democrats using the platform before have their identity cloned, and then that identity is used to make multiple donations from an unknown source, still in their name. Senator Ron Johnson joins us now to talk more about this. And, sir, it's good to have you back on. Democrats have raised a massive amount of money, considering they've had two very kind of feeble candidates here in the last year. We've seen the reports about, the little old lady that's donated 5,000 times to ActBlue, and we can't figure out why. What exactly are you seeing in this investigation?
Well, the same thing. And, this was uncovered by James O'Keefe back in March of 2023. We immediately wrote the FEC. We've been bugging them ever since. Are you even investigating this? They won't tell us whether they're even investigating this. We had a briefing a couple weeks ago. FBI Director Ray, Director of National Intelligence Haynes, the head of CISA. I asked them this question. What are you doing to investigate the smurfing? Director Ray seemed completely oblivious to it. The briefing is all about foreign influence on our election. Well, I would say potentially pumping millions of dollars through ActBlue would be definitely foreign interference. And again, they're completely oblivious to it. So I appreciate the work that Chairman Stiles put into this. He has the capability of compelling testimony. We're writing Janet Yellen and others to reveal and let us look at the potential suspicious activity reports being filed by financial institutions. I mean, that's how you'd investigate this. This is how you track it down. It wouldn't be that difficult to investigate this, which again just blows me away that the FBI is not on top of this. The FEC isn't as well.
Elections are bought in this country. Money usually can equal a win in a lot of cases. We've seen Republicans outraised in a lot of these races throughout the country, Senate races that are going to determine the balance of power. Ruben Gallego has raked in nearly 3 times the amount of Kerry Lake. In Michigan, Alyssa Slotkin has more than 4 times of what Mike Rogers have. In your state, Wisconsin, Tammy Baldwin has doubled up Eric Hovde there. It's amazing to me that, that nobody's more curious about these things, that I don't understand how you can't think that foreign countries with an agenda against this country, it would be nothing to them. It would be nothing to China to try and just send $500 million and funnel it to a party that's going to do what they want. It's nothing to them. It's pennies to them. How could you not be worried about that, and how could they not investigate something like that?
Well, this is so clearly illegal. We've interviewed these individuals, or people have. They go up to their door. Are you with? You've given 5,000 donations worth tens of thousands of dollars. They're completely oblivious to it. And by the way, we're focusing on the foreign actors potentially here.
Yeah. But
there's nothing to say that there aren't U.S. persons as well, some billionaires here that have figured out a way to break up massive donations into $5, $10, and $20 donations, tens of thousands of them at a time. And again, it's clearly illegal what's happening.
Yeah.
These are clear financial laws that are being broken here. And yet you have the FBI director completely clueless, wouldn't answer the question. Director of National Intelligence, Haynes, she kept her mouth shut when I asked that question. By the way, after I asked that question, they shut the briefing down. They wouldn't answer any of the questions.
You have Chris Wray and you have Avril Haines in there, and you tell them, I just would. They have no response. You say, you have people that have donated 5,000 times and have no idea they did it, and they have no clue, and they don't care enough to look. It's so, because there's a cap on how much you can donate to a campaign. So if you wanted to dump a huge pile of money in there, you'd need to say that it came from all of these weird people and it was all individual donations. That's how you'd funnel it through. And they're not curious?
No, they look completely clueless whether they know anything about this or not. They're surely not going to tell me And like I said, the Democrat who was chairing that briefing shut the briefing down. Said, "Okay, this is it. They got to go. No more." By the way, my next question, by the way, is what are you doing about illegal immigrants voting? Never got to that one either.
Yeah.
So again, these agencies, again, they are the law. They hold themselves above the law. They don't believe they're accountable to Congress. They certainly don't believe they're accountable to the American public. But this is clear corruption. It's going to take lawsuits. It's going to take subpoenas. It's going to take more time, unfortunately.
So there was just a story out tonight on Newsmax concerning ActBlue and the essentially financial abuse that's going on. You tried to get me to do this story 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I just kind of hemmed and hawed and stalled around because I didn't understand the ramifications of it. And what the ramifications are is once they connect this with artificial intelligence, they can turn this steal on where they steal little amounts of money, $1, $5, $10 out of a person's account.
It's not breaking somebody's personal credit card to steal a few dollars here and there from. That would be identity theft too as well, and a fraud. What they're doing is they have the names and addresses of people, legitimate people, where they live, and the new kitty there. And so they take that and create an account with that unbeknownst to them. And I say account loosely because they just have that information, and obviously it's saved on ActBlue. A long time ago, gift cards and even prepaid cards didn't have the CVC, credit card validation verification, and but now they do. And so this allows people without their name on the card to make any kind of transaction they want over the internet, telephone or mail order or whatever. They can use that and deplete the card. So they give the benefits of a physical card in a digital format. And so they're able to use this card, including with a CVC number, and to make the transaction. So once you use these cards, you have to refill them again in order to use them. However, gift cards, once they're used, they're gone. You can't refill them. Prepaid cards, which are identically the same, can be filled again and again and again and again and again.
Oh.
So these are what they use, and these are MasterCard, Visa, American Express, and they have to have cash literally to fill these cards. You can fill them either direct deposit, like your paycheck, government checks, or whatever. You can have money go into there, but you're the one controlling it. So I doubt that that's the one. My theory would be that that would be way too much to do because somebody physically would have to do that. So there has to be a program, or like what most of us now have on our credit card accounts. Like if you want to do a one-time transaction, but you don't want to give your physical card number out because it can go into that company's wallet. Even if you change cards, got a completely different number, it doesn't matter. That account is in the wallet, so they can charge for a resubscription again and keep going and going and going. So the money that's going into it has to go through a money transfer company, and ActBlue is that, or a bank. But for ActBlue to do that, where are they getting that money from? Because there has to be a cooperating bank that has to be allowing for money to come into that account and then gets distributed all to these cards to refill them up again, prepaid cards or digital numbers. So there's accounts out there. maybe one count, maybe multiple counts, or so forth. So that's where the investigation needs to lead on where is the money coming from? Where is that money going? It has to go into some kind of an account to be distributed to fill up the account or the card, virtual card, or virtual prepaid cards that can be used.
Foreign countries with an agenda against this country, I mean, it would be nothing to them. It would be nothing to China to try and just send $500 million and funnel it to a party that's going to do what they want.
You would have literally millions of transactions of one-time use cards done, gone, or that card could be used with an amount prepaid to $2,200 or $2,300, whatever the limit is for max for a candidate. And then once it starts reaching that, then another card gets issued in that person's same name and starts going to other candidates. But usually what's happening when looking on ActBlue, you are looking at these people and you can see what campaign they donated to. So up to 10 times in one day, anywhere from $2 to $8, $10 max usually. They're donating to different candidates all over the country, and the money goes there. So it's predetermined. So it makes it look like the appearance of, oh, I'm not just supporting one candidate. I like to support what's happening in New York, Massachusetts, Ohio, Iowa, Indiana, California, etc. So it makes it look totally innocent. And that's the way that I have been seeing it, how it happened when I got onto the system and looked at all these people and I go, my gosh, you know, this person from California is donating to AOC, donating to Schumer, donating to Elizabeth Warren, and so forth. And in a lot of these people, especially senators, aren't even running for re-election yet, too, as well. So their accounts are slowly building up. And then once they max out, because that one card can be used for literally hundreds of candidates, because again, you're only limited to a specific amount per candidate. You can't reach that. And once that's done, that candidate's checked off, and then the others are added on, and then it could be used over and over and over and over again. So who is creating these digital accounts? I mean, they're Visa, MasterCard, Amex, etc. Who has access to that? Who gave them access to that? How are these cards getting out? So it has to be digitized. And, you know, to have a physical card to do that, yeah, you can have a program to have that number in there and just constantly refill it. So either way, digital or other, there's an account that holds that. So who are the magical people that are behind these accounts? Because you have to identify where the money's coming from. Money just doesn't come in and then suddenly goes out to John Doe, Jane Doe down the street, 78 years old, living on a fixed Social Security income retirement, and literally giving tens of thousands of dollars every year to all these candidates. So what's happening with that? That's the question to ask, and that can easily be done. And Ron Johnson was on the committee, and nobody's doing anything, and it's big money. It could be specific NGOs, even the one that the PAC that ActBlue has, over $1 billion. How's that money getting in there? Because you don't have to basically say who that money came from if it's a super PAC. So there's a method that's going on, but there are intermediaries in between that once you find out the who, you'll understand the how.
Foreign countries with an agenda against this country, I mean, it would be nothing to them. It would be nothing to China to try and just send $500 million and funnel it to a party that's going to do what they want.
Well, somebody with a banking license is in the loop, and it's going to be somebody very well connected, so that even the FBI, as well as the FEC, they just turn a blind eye and say, we're not going there, even though it's millions of dollars. We're talking millions of dollars
Yeah,
across all the candidates. And it's just like a spigot. They can just turn that baby on and crawl into bed, and you wake
yeah,
up, it's been working for you. And so, I guess we'll put a dent in it sometime next year, but it's not going to stop them right now.
right.
They have virtually unlimited money to throw into these races.
Yeah, anybody can go to the FEC website, put in their city and state, and just start scrolling down from the very day that you see it. Just start scrolling down, and it just keeps going backwards and backwards and backwards, and you'll see a lot of the same names in your neighborhood, in your city, that over and over and over and over again. For them to say that it's millions of dollars, no. Let's say billion with a B, okay? It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. If you just start adding it up, it adds up quick. So that's enough for any fraud investigator to see that, to see how people are donating this money. And you can create a list of 100 people in your area, and any investigator can knock on their doors and say, ma'am, sir, I'm so and so. I'm a fraud investigator and so forth. I just want to talk with you for a moment and just ask you, because here's my information. I want to hand it to you. Here's all the donations that has been happening in your name. We just want to verify, not that you're in trouble. You're not. We just, because technically they're not. They kept safe, these people, because they're only at the limit. So that person can sit there and lie to you and say, hell yeah, I did it. 57 candidates for the last 2 years. I've been donating the max to. Thank you. Goodbye. Next. And eventually they'll have some that go, I can't afford that, because you can look into their financial background too as well. Uh, you get a warrant from the court, uh, subpoena, and you can start investigating to see where these people have their money. They can easily find that out quickly and say, yeah, this person is only $41,000 a year in Social Security retirement income from their 401k, whatever. And here's their expenses. They pay rent, or they pay these bills. It just doesn't add up. They can't afford it. Just like when drug dealers want to not report their income, they're buying yachts and fast cars and taking trips and all the bling, gold, and the big homes and so forth. No, it doesn't comply with your tax returns, as most of them don't do a tax return. Even if they did, it's not going to jive with what kind of assets that they have. And so that's where they get them and take them out. So these people are protected, and but unbeknownst to them, their identity is being used to fulfill these transactions.
So, does the money that actually goes into ActBlue coffers, does it actually come out of those individuals' bank accounts and they don't
No,
realize it?
no,
Oh, so they're just using them to launder the money.
correct.
That's something Newsmax, yeah, I didn't realize that either. That, yeah, that would be the perfect money laundering vehicle.
You would have so many loyal people. It would be absurd that you would have so many loyal people donating to well over 20, 30, 40, 50 candidates across the country, giving money like crazy. I mean, you can if you have the money, but the majority of these people don't fit that type of background or have those kind of assets in the bank to be able to donate, and that's easily verifiable. Just by the sheer volume numbers of these people, their identities being used, you can easily check if they're even capable of handling that. And
So
I'm
these
the
people's
one,
bank accounts then see not only money going out, but money coming in that
right.
they're unaware of.
That's where you need to find out how that money is coming in, where that source is, and what type of bank money transfer business that it's going through, and how's it going from one end to the other and through their system. And it has to be digital prepaid cards because those cards don't have names on it. I mean, they could if you have a sophisticated enough program to take that identity and create that account alone for it, or they can go the route of just creating these numbers and refilling those digital cards and use it that way. But then again, they have to be filled up. But using prepaid cards like gift cards that you can get without a person's name on it, but you can attach it to that person's name. And as long as you keep on the official record of the FEC that Jane Doe donated to Elizabeth Warren max in a year's time, they're in the clear. They're in the clear.
It's come out just in the past 6 to 12 months that all this giant tidal wave of incoming immigrants are being handed these gift cards to help pay their expenses. Could that have something to do with this?
I I wouldn't know. I don't know if they're being issued gift cards because you can only use them once and you got to toss them. But prepaid cards, you can fill them up, and the government can fill them up for you each and every month, just like the EBT cards in many
Yeah,
states that
yeah.
offer.
That would be there wouldn't be gift cards because there was talk about the government refills them every
Correct. So
month.
those are prepaid.
Right.
Yes.
So the technology is definitely out there and the government's involved for good or ill.
Yeah. I mean, looking the other way on this, I would say it's an investigator's dream, to hit the jackpot and strike gold to to open this wide open because they're while they do it legally, the issue here is how come it's just sheer mass volume and the amount of money that is wicked crazy. So just those 6 candidates alone on the Democrat side of the fundraising, that's a few $100 million right there, Bill. You're over 250 million, close to 300 million. And it's like, whoa. So if you got all 453, 452, 453 House people up every 2 years, and you got that many candidates that are running for the Democrat Party, and plus the 1/3 that's up every 2 years in the Senate, you're over $1 billion, my man. You're in the billions here. So how is that happening faithfully through that? It's, some of them they won't do because they know certain states you're gonna lose because, overwhelmingly Republican, no matter what money we put in there, you're gonna lose. So they're not gonna fund them. But that's a super minority compared to what they can do. And strategic candidates in these states are not raising the money enough to match what ActBlue can outdo them. So that raises a question. That's a big concern. Where's all this money coming from? It's not coming from that particular state. It's coming from all over the country. And who would be enough into politics to support a particular senator from another state. Even a lot of people still today, Senator J.D. Vance, who's that guy? Oh, yeah, he's running. Oh, he's the guy running for Trump. Okay. People just are not that in tune or involved in their uh, other states' politics with their candidates.
All right.
They're just not that much. I mean, yeah, you'll have people in Massachusetts, Illinois, California donating to AOC because they follow her and her millions of people on X, and they believe in the Kool-Aid and they want to serve it up, so they'll donate. But that's not enough. It's really not enough. So they turn on the spigot somehow, and that's definitely something that any prosecutor or investigator would certainly look into, because all you got to do is start with 100 leads in city A, in state A, and start knocking on doors, start asking people questions. You're not going to get 100% people saying, oh, yeah, I did it. You won't. It just takes a few, and you have enough evidence to open up an investigation, because then on the preponderance of the sheer amount of volume that's been going into ActBlue, you could just do the percentages. So if you do a percentage in this state, percentage in that state, percentage in this state, and they kind of average whatever, you could take those averages of all the states and then put them together and say, wow, we certainly have something here that needs to be looked into. So it's that quick. You don't have to do each and every one of them. You just have to put it together so that way you are building your case and building your evidence and take it to a court and let them do the investigation and so forth, or DOJ, and it goes forward.
So this is an elaborate cheat, a new one that we didn't really know about before, which is all done before the window of the actual election happens, because that money is stored up in these accounts, and they use that to fund advertising and their office operations and everything else. So the damage is done by now, today,
Mhm.
this election. And
Yeah, it increases like a year before the election. It starts to increase, like crescendo, and comes back down. But it's continued throughout the year. Not as much, but the process still continues no matter what. But it does really pick up steam a year before the election, especially 6 months before the election, and it's just moving. It's not stopping. Even in the 2020 election, ActBlue was mentioned about that, and about transactions, how these transactions happening. Because I remember there was this one woman in Wyoming, in the middle of nowhere, living on the farm, small little house, and donated something like 40 something thousand dollars. She's like, it wasn't me, but her name and her location address was used over and over and over and over again in thousands of transactions. So that's just one person. That's just one person. So they have it down. There's something going on. And again, I'm not accusing anybody, but there appears to be something that is extremely elaborate, and it's it's a well-funded, money-making machine. It really is.
right. Okay, well, we're not going to get into investigating this one before the election,
No,
but
the only way you're going to find out is that Trump wins.
yeah,
Uh, Bottom line. Otherwise, it'll never be uncovered. It'll
right.
never be uncovered. So unless the Republicans keep the House, president loses. Um, and they start going into investigations and getting deeper and deeper and deeper, but they're going to be met with a wall of, it's a big fight. It really is.
Every doctor on TV says that we all need to boost our immune systems, and STEM Enhance does that in a unique way. By increasing blood levels of your adult stem cells, the backbone of your immune system, by over 30% in just 1 hour. Click on the link in the description box below for details.
I'm still reporting from just outside the citadel of world freedom. Good day.